Hello, welcome to the second class for the transport in human body, that is the circulatory system. Let's have a quick recap where we were talking about the blood vessels, the different blood vessels present in the heart. The three main blood vessels are the arteries, capillaries and veins. Let's have a look at the function of the arteries. This is going to be very important and you need to remember this, as in the next slides we are going to study about the circulation in the heart, how does the blood flows through the heart and through our body. So we have the arteries, which is going to play an important role. It is going to carry the blood away from the heart, whereas we have the veins that is going to return the blood to the heart. So these are the two main blood vessels which are going to take the main role in the circulation of blood in the heart. So now, because the arteries carry the blood away from the heart, the blood in the arteries are going to be at a higher pressure, and hence the structure of the wall is so designed in such a way that they are thick and strong and they are elastic. Whereas the veins, which is going to return the blood to the heart, so that means the blood is comparatively going to be at a lower pressure. So hence the walls of the veins are also thin and much less elastic. And so is the width of the arteries, which is going to be narrow, whereas the width of the veins is going to be wide and it is going to contain valves. Capillaries is the link between the arteries and the veins, because arteries and veins are going to connect to the important organs, whereas the capillaries are going to reach out through the entire body. So it is going to connect each and every tissue of the body. So that is why they are going to be very thin and just one cell thick, and hence it is going to be very narrow as well. Let's look further the heart. Now the function of the heart is to pump the blood around the body. So let's look at this mammalian heart. What are some things that you would know? You might know from before. The first is the size of the heart is that of one's own fist. So if you want to know what is the size of your heart, you just have to fold your fingers into a form of fist, and that will be the size of your heart. The main function is to pump the blood throughout the body, that we all know, and so that it requires a special type of a muscle, and that is the cardiac muscle, which never rests. So this muscle contracts and relaxes regularly throughout the life. Next is, we all know our heart beats fast, slow, but it does keep on beating. Yes. So what is that beat? It is the contraction and relaxation of your heart. Per minute, when it is at rest, it beats 72 times. This range could be around 50 to 100, but normally the range, the number which many people fall in, will be between 70s. So in 72, 71 or 73, like that. But during exercise, this number of beats goes a bit faster. So it is around 200 beats per minute. Why do you think it is that much? Yes, you guessed it right, because during exercise we do require a lot of energy, and that's why the heart also needs to work faster, so that it brings in more fresh air, for fresh oxygenated blood into the body and removes all the deoxygenated blood. Okay, now this heartbeat is initiated by a pacemaker. it's a small group of muscles which is at the top of the right atrium. Just at the next slide we will look at the structure of the heart, and I will tell you where is the right atrium. There we are going to see a small muscle pack over there which is a pacemaker, and that is going to initiate the heartbeat. Here is the structure of the heart. So you see over here, this is the right atrium, and over at the top somewhere over here, let me change the color. Somewhere over here you might see the pacemaker. Correct? Okay. So heart is a 4-chambered organ. You can actually divide the heart into 4 chambers here. Basically this is your right side and this is your left side. So on the right side, this is again divided into half. The upper half is called as the atrium, whereas the lower half is called as the ventricles. So whether it is right or left, the upper part is called as the atria and the lower part is called as the ventricles. Correct? So that's how it becomes 4-chambered heart. Atria is its thin walled, whereas ventricles are thick walled. Now these are the main roles of veins, arteries, valves and coronary arteries. Now veins, they will carry the deoxygenated blood. Now basically what is deoxygenated blood means? D means not present. So oxygen is not being carried by the blood, right? So that is deoxygenated blood, that is your impure blood. So all the veins will carry the deoxygenated blood, but except for the pulmonary vein. Well, in the next slide we are going to elaborate the structure of heart in more detail. So for now you can remember that the deoxygenated blood is carried by the veins and the oxygenated blood is carried by the arteries, and it is going to carry the, except for the pulmonary artery, they are going to carry oxygenated blood. Now if you notice over here, in both the cases there is this word pulmonary. So veins, the normal role you remember that it is deoxygenated blood. Arteries, you remember it as oxygenated blood. Whenever the word pulmonary comes, it will be the opposite of what is the role of the artery or the vein respectively. Yes. So if I say what is the pulmonary vein going to supply, it is not going to see vein, normally the role will be deoxygenated blood. But because it is a pulmonary vein, you are going to say it will supply the oxygenated blood. Correct? Same thing goes for the artery. Normally the role for an artery is to carry a oxygenated blood. But when it comes as a pulmonary artery, you are going to remember it as a deoxygenated blood. Correct? Okay. This is going to be much easier to remember in the further slide as we see how this blood is going to flow all through these 4 chambers. Okay, there is this valves at the intersection of the 2 halves, the upper and the lower halves, and there we have the valves. So they will allow the blood to flow in a particular direction only. It is not going to be, it is not going to be a 2-way traffic over there. Okay, both going also and coming also. No, it will strictly be 1 way only. So that is the role of the valves. Okay, not to allow any two-way traffic over there. It will be strictly allowing the blood to flow in one direction. Now there is something called as coronary arteries. It's very different from all that the circulation of the blood that we are going to see over here. This artery has a role to supply the heart muscle with food and oxygen. See, it is also an organ. It also needs the food and the oxygen to work. Yes. So this artery is going to supply the heart with the necessary food and oxygen. So whenever you have heard of cardiac arrest, it is the coronary artery which gets blocked. Okay, so that is totally a different topic to discuss with. Okay, but just to make a note over here that there is a different and a special artery given connected to the heart to supply with food and oxygen. Okay, let's go on to the next. The working. Here comes the main part of the circulation of the blood. As we have just studied that the heart has two parts, that is the right side and the left side. The two upper chambers that we have just discussed is called as the atrium, whereas the two lower chambers are called as the ventricles. Now the right side and the left side is again further divided by a septum over here. Okay, it's being divided by a septum here, so that it keeps the right and the left part completely separate and there is no mixing of blood which takes place. Okay. Now the deoxygenated blood will always enter the right side. If you take the note of this, it pumps the deoxygenated blood from the right side. So from here the deoxygenated blood is going to enter, that is from the upper body, and the deoxygenated blood is going to enter from here, that is from the lower part of the body, and it is all going to go in the right atrium. So this is your right atrium over here. It has entered the first step. The first step is that the deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium from the upper part and the lower part of the body. This right atrium is now going to push the blood into the right ventricle, and again, as I said, when the upper and the lower halves are being divided by a valve. So this valve is going to see that the blood is only going to flow from right atrium to right ventricle and not in the reverse direction. That means that blood is not going to flow from the right ventricle to the right atrium, right? Okay. So as the blood has now gone into the right ventricle, what it is going to do with the deoxygenated blood? It needs to purify it. So will it do it by self? No, the heart doesn't do any kind of purification. It will send this to the lungs. So it goes to the lungs. From here it goes to the lungs. And that is the pulmonary artery, which we just said. Arteries mainly carry the oxygenated blood, but now it is going to, because there is this pulmonary word attached to it, it is going to carry the deoxygenated blood and send it to the lungs for purification. Once the blood is going to get purified, oxygenated, then it is going to come back to the heart. Now, who will bring the blood back to the heart? It is going to be the pulmonary veins. So if you see here, it is going to be the pulmonary veins. So veins normally they are going to carry deoxygenated blood, but this pulmonary vein is going to carry the oxygenated blood and bringing it back to the heart. Now where this blood is going to get first received? It is going to be first received at the left atrium. The left atrium collects the oxygenated blood and gives it to the left ventricle. Again, there is a valve present over here which is going to prevent any backflow of the blood. This left ventricle is now ready to give this oxygenated blood to the entire body. So then this blood is now going to go through the main artery, that is the aorta. Aorta is getting divided further because it has to go to the upper part of the body separately and lower part of the body separately. So this is the main artery of the human body, of the human heart, where it is going to supply with the oxygenated blood through the entire body. Now the next point over here, if you see, it's written here, the atrium receives the blood at low pressure. So both of the atrium, whether it is the right atrium or the left atrium, it is going to collect the blood. The right atrium will collect the blood from the rest of the body, whereas the left atrium is going to collect the oxygenated blood from the lungs. The ventricles pumps the blood at high pressure because it has to be given out by a force, and that is why the walls of the ventricles you see over here, the walls of the ventricles are thick. They are thick muscular walls because the blood in the ventricles are at a higher pressure, and therefore the walls are thick. Okay, so this is how the blood flows. I'll show you a small video also.
The pathway of blood flows through the heart. Oxygen-poor blood from your body returns to the right atrium of the heart. Blood from your upper body returns through the superior vena cava. Blood from the lower body returns through the inferior vena cava. As the right atrium is filled with blood, it contracts, the tricuspid valve opens, and blood is pumped into the right ventricle of your heart. When the right ventricle is full, the tricuspid valve closes to prevent blood from flowing back into the atrium. The right ventricle contracts, pulmonary valve opens, and blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery and to your lungs. The pulmonary valve closes to prevent blood from flowing back into the ventricle. Oxygen-rich blood from the lungs returns to the left atrium of the heart. As the left atrium is filled with blood, it contracts, the mitral valve opens, and blood is pumped into the left ventricle of your heart. This occurs at the same time as the right atrium pumps blood into the right ventricle on the other side of the heart. As the left ventricle is full, the aortic valve quickly closes to prevent blood from flowing back to the heart. Meanwhile, the atria have filled with blood, and the cycle repeats itself.
Hope you have understood the video as well. So the maximum pressure at which the blood leaves the heart. Now you know what is called as blood pressure. The force with which the blood exerts on the walls of the heart. That is the blood pressure. So if it is the maximum pressure at which the blood is leaving the heart through the main artery, that is the aorta, during the contraction phase, that is called as your systolic pressure, which is your 120 mm/Hg. Whereas the minimum pressure in the arteries during the relaxation phase of the heart is the diastolic pressure, and that is 80 mm/Hg. So when we say 120/80, which we mean that systolic over the diastolic pressure. So these are the normal ranges, and that is a normal blood pressure range. Okay. Now we have seen that the blood was flowing through the heart twice. How? At the first, it has entered the heart through the right atrium. Correct? That is vena cava from the body. It is going into the heart, and then it is going to the lungs for purification, coming back again to the heart, and then from the heart it goes out to the lungs. See, once the blood is being purified in the lungs, then the lungs doesn't do the job of sending it to all the body, yes, to all the parts of the body. It is the duty of the heart to distribute also. So the collection and distribution of blood is the role of the heart. That is why we say double circulation, because it is having the two roles, the collection and the distribution. It is collecting the deoxygenated blood, and then it is sending it to the lungs. It is collecting again from the lungs, and again bringing it back to the heart, and from the heart it is distributing it to the entire body. So that's why it's a double circulation. So let's go to the questions now. Name the red pigment which carries the oxygen in the blood. You can pause the video, think over it and answer. I will flash the answer over here. The answer is hemoglobin. Next question. Why is it necessary to separate the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in mammals and birds? Yes, because they have high energy needs, and they need to maintain their body temperature. Okay, these are the two important criteria. Name a circulatory fluid in the human body other than the blood. That is lymph. Next question. What are the upper parts of the heart called? Yes, it's atria. What are the lower parts of the heart called? Correct, it's ventricles. What is the name of the blood vessel which connects the arteries to veins? Correct, that is capillaries. Which side of the heart pumps blood into the lungs? Right side. Which side of the heart pumps blood into the entire body except the lungs? Yes, it's already been purified. It will not send it back to lungs again. Yes, correct. That's left side. Thank you. We'll meet in the next class with the next topic.